Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Hey, hi. Good evening, everyone. Hey, hi, Chandana. Can I start with the session? Am I audible? Like, can anyone confirm am I audible or not?
Yeah, Fayez, you can start the session and you're audible.
Okay, thank you so much, Chandana. Okay. So, let's go ahead and start. Okay, so we would be continuing from where we stopped today. In case if we have anyone in the classroom who was not present yesterday, okay, that won't be an issue. Okay, we would be going ahead and reiterating whatever we did yesterday because eventually we encountered an error yesterday. Okay, and that's the reason we would be going ahead and going through the loop maybe again. Okay, so yes, so today's agenda would be quite simple. Okay, so our target would be to go ahead and check. Like when we talk about Gen AI, like we talk about the capabilities of Gen AI, we see that this is what a Gen AI is capable of. But obviously, up to some extent, there would be a limitation of Gen AI as well. Okay, so in today's agenda, we would be seeing that limitation, and we would be seeing the possible solution which are out there in the market. Okay, now, the traditional old methods of going ahead and data pre-processing, doing analysis of data are also been solved using Gen AI. When I say that, initially there was requirement of what we say pre-processing engineers, the data engineers, which go ahead and can go ahead and perform the task of data pre-processing. Why they were hired? Because they know all the commands or all the codes, or what we say they have a knowledge about data pre-processing. Because I, as a person, a layman, I only know that within this data set I want all the entries which have this features, or all the entries which would go ahead and perform this feature. Okay, so as a person who have no knowledge about data engineering, I would be knowing what to do, but I don't know the codes for that and everything. So that is something which can also be solved by using Gen AI. Okay, so we would be continuing with the yesterday's agenda, where we would be going ahead and understanding one of the limitation of open AI. Okay, and we would be going ahead and solving that limitation. Okay. So in case if you want to go ahead and type the code with me, you can go ahead and do that, or else I would be going ahead and sharing the code with you. Okay, so what we would be doing, we would be going ahead and directly calling the OpenAI API. Okay, and we would be working on this data set which is known as the Spotify data. Yesterday we do encountered an error where we were unable to go ahead and work on this data set. Okay, but today we would be going ahead and working on the data set. The possible reason why we were not able to go ahead and work on this data set because of the encoding error. Okay, when I say encoding error, this means nothing but something or characters which the Python cannot go ahead and compile. That's the reason we go ahead and receive something which is called as encoding error. Okay, so what I would be doing, I would be opening a new Jupyter notebook. Okay. Okay, so this is the data set, and as a data engineer, or whatever you can say, data analyst, we would be aware about something which is called as pandas library. Okay, so what we will do is we will import pandas as PD. Let just it get loaded. Okay, data is equal to PD dot read CSV. And while we were going ahead and reading this file as well directly using the OpenAI or the agent, we were facing an error. Okay, encoding error. Sometimes the file was not getting detected. This is what we were going ahead and facing. Okay, so this is the data. If I go ahead and try to read this, I would encounter an error which is known as UTF codec can't decode bytes. Okay, so this was the error which we were facing yesterday, and we kind of got stuck. Okay, we also tried this encoding is equal to UTF-8. Still were unable to go ahead and solve this error. Okay, so I kind of debugged the issue a little bit. Okay, and I came to a conclusion that this data can be read by something which is called as Latin encoding. Okay, Latin 1 encoding. So there are various number of encoding. So this data can be read by Latin encoding. And if I go ahead and now print the data, this is what the data looks like. Okay, now I have the data over here. But our OpenAI, LangChain, and agents only understand UTF encoded data. So whatever the data may be, we need to go ahead and convert it into a UTF encoded data. So there is a simple command which please share. Okay, I would be going ahead and sharing the link as well. Okay. Yeah. So I would be going ahead and UTF encoded data is something which I need to go ahead and convert it to. Okay. So what I will do is data dot to CSV, and I would be making sure that this data is saved as Spotify data new dot CSV, and I'll make sure that the encoding is UTF-8. So what this does is this goes ahead and save the data with again and with a different type of encoding. And now you can see I have a data prepared which shows is such that I can now pass to the Gen AI engine and go ahead and use this data set. So yesterday we were unable to go ahead and use this data set. So these are the two steps which you just need to go ahead and perform such that you can make this data available to go ahead and use it with your Gen AI engine. Okay, so to go ahead and use the Gen AI power, obviously I would be going ahead and importing OpenAI. This is what I would be going ahead and doing. Okay, and how to call the OpenAI API is something I would be typing over here. For the people who are typing, I want you to go ahead and type with me. So, for the people who were present or who know how this is how you go ahead and send a message, okay, to OpenAI API, okay, OpenAI dot. model which we would be going ahead and using would be 3.5 turbo. Okay. So I believe that's it. Okay. Print output dot content. Here it is. So if you just go ahead and send any normal message to the API, this is the response which we get from the ChatGPT API. Now we have not added any prompt. We need to go ahead and add the prompt as well over here. But before that, we need to go ahead and make sure we are reading this data set. So let me just go ahead and make you explore to this data set. Okay. So ChatGPT have knowledge restricted only till 2021, the 3.5 model, and this is the Spotify data about all the details explaining about the songs which were released in 2024 and what are their likes on YouTube, what are their TikTok likes, and whatsoever it may be. Okay, let's for an example, I can just take this track. This is the album, this was the artist. I can go ahead and take this detail. So if I go ahead and inject this data within the chat GPT by using LangChain, the chat GPT would be in a position to go ahead and respond to this question, even though the base model does not have an answer to that. And the technology which we would be using would be RAG. Okay. So if I just need to go ahead and read this data set. Okay. So this happens with the help of LangChain, read CSV agent. So I would be showing you to how to go ahead and use it. Okay. So this is the CSV loader which we would be using. Okay. So I just need to make sure that I load this data set over here. Spotify data new.csv would be the file which we would be using, and we would be going ahead and saving all the text which has been loaded to what we say a variable known as data. Let's load this data set. So it has been loaded. So I just need to now go ahead and add a prompt to this. Okay. So you are a smart assistant who will help me to analyze the data. You have to respond to the user question by referring the data truthfully. fully, and slash n, and I'll just go ahead and mention what is the data. The data is nothing but something which is saved to the variable known as data. Okay, and I will make this just an f string. Okay, so this is what I would be going ahead and doing now. Okay, I would be passing the data to the chat GPT, and I would be asking it questions. Okay, what question I can ask to chat GPT, like who is the artist of the track Not Like Us? Who is the artist of the track Not Like Us? So it should go ahead and respond to us. So let's just run this. Here it is. So this is what we are getting. Okay. Now let me just go ahead and help you explain the error. So as I mentioned in the very first session, and as I mentioned earlier, the importance of a RAG architecture. Okay. So basically whatever the models it may be, they have a context limit. ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo has a context limit of approximately 16,000 tokens, and this data itself is very big. So you cannot go ahead and pass the complete data with the prompt, because it will go ahead and cross the maximum context length, which would be 16,000. So that's the reason we go ahead and do RAG architecture, where whatever the question may be from the user, we go ahead and extract only the relevant documents out of that complete data according to the question, and pass it with the prompt such that the model can refer to that and answer to that. So this is why RAG architecture is very important. Now what we would be doing, as we have done this and we have understood the need of the RAG architecture, we would be going ahead and implementing the RAG architecture before actually coming to ChatGPT. Okay, so for that what we need to do is we need to just go ahead and import from lang langchain dot text splitter import recursive character text splitter. So what it does is it goes ahead and split your text into chunks. Like if we have a data of uh, what we say 10 lakhs token. Okay, 38 lakhs token is the length of our data set. So it will go ahead and convert it into smaller chunks. Okay, smaller chunks is something it will go ahead and convert it into. Okay, and we can define the chunk size 10,000 every time, such that the 10,000 chunks, or 10,000 is nothing but the number of token along with the question, so that the input length or the context is within the window of the model, which is 16,000. Okay, so what we will do, we will define our text splitter. And we will define the chunk size. So you can keep the chunk size according to your requirement. I will go ahead and keep it as 10,000 maybe, to go ahead and extract the maximum information every time, such that no information is missed. Usually we go ahead, and a good practice in the industry to go ahead and keep it for 5,000. So we would be following that only. Okay, 5,000 would be the chunk size. Okay, few more imports which we need to do from LangChain, from LangChain dot vector store dot FAISS import. What is this line? What is this line explaining is something which I'll explain now. So FAISS is a vector database which is from Meta. Okay, so what this does is this goes ahead and create. So whatever the chunks you are storing, whatever the embeddings are getting created, it needs to be stored somewhere. So FAISS go ahead and store it locally. So we would be using this database. So there are n number of database options available. I am just using this as I feel this is fast and easy to use. And we would be going ahead and importing an embedding of from OpenAI, which is OpenAI embedding. What are the documents which we need to split? These are the documents which we need to split. Okay, so I would be going ahead and splitting this document data. Okay, And after the documents are split, we need to go ahead and save it to a DB. So I will define a variable as DB. Okay, I would be calling the vector database, and I would be asking it that from documents, just go ahead and save it. This documents, and the embeddings which you will use would be the OpenAI embeddings. That's it. Now we are ready to go ahead and create a vector database over here. So yesterday when we were trying to do this, it was taking a very long time because the data itself was very big with somewhere approximately equal to 10,000 2 lakh plus entries. Okay, this database is comparatively small with only up to 4,000 or I would say 6,000 entries is what it has in it. Okay. So it would take approximately 1 minute, not more than that, maybe 2 minutes, depending upon the system processing which you're using. Okay, so now the vector database has been created. Now what I can do is I can just go ahead and create a variable such as data new. Okay, and what I will do is I will go ahead and db dot search uh, similarity search, and I would be going ahead and searching for the same question here. Okay, and now let's see what is the relevant chunk which it goes ahead and return to us. I need to print the data new as well. Okay, so it has returned us a very big document. Okay, and it would be having all the relevant text related to the question which has been mentioned over here. Okay, so this is what this is what similarity search will go ahead and return us. So what I need to do, I just need to go ahead and modify this. Okay, I'll just add this over here. I'll add the question is equal to, and I'll the same question will be passing through certain layers. Now it would be going through a similarity search, and then this question would be going to the model. Okay, and along with this data won't be sufficient. Okay, this data is creating an issue, so we would be having an updated data which would be only the relevant data which is related to the question. Okay, so these are the changes which I have done right now. Now let's see if it works or not. It worked. And let's see what is the answer. The artist of Not Like Us is a Kendrick Lamar. This is what it responded from the database. Okay. So everyone understood till here, and acknowledge over the chat box will work. Yes, everyone. Did you understood till here? Okay. Now, what's next? Now, obviously, it is getting only the relevant documents out of what we say the complete database. It would definitely not work for questions such as if I go ahead and ask a question like this, how many album okay have more than 10K likes? Just a random question. Because I believe to answer this question, you need to have complete knowledge about the data set. So if I just go ahead and run this, okay, it will go ahead and give me answer. There are two albums which has more than 10 plus like, because why it did so, because it now does not have access to the complete data set. Chat GPT doesn't knows that this data is something which you are deriving by extracting the similar document. For it, it is the complete data which it needs to refer to, and it will directly go ahead and answer from that only. So this is where the base GPT, or I would say, lags, and this is where we need something which is known as agent to go ahead and solve problems like this. Okay, so obviously I would be going ahead and helping you to understand how such type of problems are solved. Such type of problems can obviously be solved by two methods. One is to actually go ahead and do the analysis, where data engineer and data analyst are required to go ahead and do the analysis on the column, apply the formula, or if you are doing on Python, apply the Python logic such that use pandas df the column name and put apply the condition if where and everything and go ahead and solve this. But I am a person who doesn't know much of a technical thing. I know what my question is and I want the solution to that question. So there is something which is known as agent, which goes ahead and perform the task of a human, such that how a human can go ahead and think and solve the task is something which agents can go ahead and perform. So the same problem we would be taking same question and we would be solving this problem by using agent. Okay. So from LangChain dot chat models dot OpenAI import chat OpenAI from LangChain experimental dot agents toolkit import create CSV agent and so I believe these are the three dependencies which we would be needing. Okay, so we need to go ahead and define the agent. Agent is equal to create CSV agent, and we would be using the OpenAI only, chat OpenAI. Okay, the same features which we applied over there. Okay, which would be the model. So if you don't go ahead and pass any model, the GPT 3.5 model is something which takes it as default. Okay, 3.5 turbo. Now we need to go ahead and pass the data set which we would be going ahead and using for our CSV based tasks. So it would be Spotify data new.csv. There is something which is known as verbose. Okay, I already explained the last time what verbose means. So verbose means like how the agent arrived to this conclusion, what were the steps involved. If you want to see that, that is verbose. Okay, agent type, it would be, we would be directly using the OpenAI agent type. Okay, in case if it encountered any error, so we want the agent itself to go ahead and solve that error on its own. So this is what a handle passing errors mean. Okay, so this is how you go ahead and define the agent from the LangChain library. Okay, let me just confirm if I have done any mistake in any of the line. Seems to be good. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, now it worked. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and use the same question. Okay, how many albums have more than 10K likes here? Okay, and we would be going ahead and capturing the response is equal to agent dot run on this question. And now let's see how it behaves. So can you see this? Wait, I think so. It is not behaving good with 3.5. Let's just try with another model. Okay, and now let's try this. Okay, so you can see what it did. You can just read this over here, what it did. It automatically understood if I'm talking about likes, okay, I would be talking about YouTube like. This is what it did. Okay, it applied all the formulas, and from the data it took, and it understood that I am talking about TikTok likes. It went to this, and gave me the list of all these five which are having more than 10,000 likes, and it returned to me as a final answer. What if I go ahead and mention how many albums have more than 10K TikTok likes? Four albums have more than 10,000 TikTok likes. And it is also returning me the videos as well. Understood that, everyone? Yes, people, do anyone have any doubt related to this? So this is where agents prove to be very useful, okay, which eliminates the need of going ahead and using any what we say like eliminate the use of data engineers and data analysts. So Gen AI, you just by going ahead and typing the question, Gen AI would automatically understand that this question is requiring this for this what we say code, and these are the tasks which need to perform. So it makes a list of the tasks and execute it. If I just go ahead and ask it how many number of rows are there in the data set, how many number of rows are there in the data set? Let me just print the final response. No, it is giving some error. It is not sure why it is returning wrong response. Let me just check. GPT-4 Turbo. So within this data set, if I go ahead and see, there are 4,601 rows approximately, and it should go ahead and respond that. So let's give it another try. The input is taking a lot of time. Let me just interrupt this. Maybe I like mentioned the variable name incorrect, so that was the reason it was not working properly. Okay, let's just try give it a try again. Okay, it worked. Let's just give it a try again. We have defined, and let's just see if it replies. Okay, I'm not sure why it is not performing well. Maybe they have gone to some maintenance or anything, but this do works. Okay, let's just ask the same question again, where we ask this, how many albums have more than 10K likes? So these things are very new in the what we say market right now. So you won't be having much of a documentation or whatever say the video helping you to go ahead and understand this. Okay, but obviously that these are on continuous maintenance. But if you know this, this would be of a very beneficial to you if you know this properly. Sorry, there was an internet fluctuation. I got kicked out of the meeting. Okay. Yeah. So, uh, so this is what I was explaining, okay? That yes, the behavior of this models change, or what do these agents change as they are into continuous maintenance, okay? So I would be going ahead and sharing this code with you. So any task which a data engineer or a data analyst can go ahead and perform, this can be achieved by using agents, okay? Similar to this agent, we have many agents such as like SQL agent. So if you need to go ahead and hire someone who knows SQL. Okay, so like if you're running a company, if you need to go ahead and hire someone who knew SQL commands and everything, and you would could be called as an SQL developer, whatever it may be. So this task can be performed by using SQL agent. In the background, the model would be that capable, or the agent would be that capable of understanding if the question is asked, what type of SQL command do I need to run, and what is the query which I need to pass, such that the desired output can be achieved. Okay. So agents are the future. What we just learned now was language model, but agents are utilizing language model to understand what the user are trying to say, and by understanding that, they are capable of converting into the desired, what we say, commands or functions, or what we say, the code, and get the desired output to the user. So the breach between any programming language or what we say database is something which GenAI is becoming with the help of an agents. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you as a project, that the power of agent, that how they can go ahead and understand natural language and convert it into a Python code. Okay, so that was it from my end. Okay, if anyone have any doubt, can raise it over the chat window. Yes, Chandana, I am done with the session. Okay,
Thank you, Faiz. I hope
thank you
we are
so.
done for today.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Let me just share the code file with everyone in the chat window,
Yeah,
such that they can refer it for the people who have
thank
not
you.
typed.
So, students, yeah, thank you. Hmm. So, students, we don't have a session tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We will meet on Monday. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have shared the code file in the chat window. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye bye.